And we are live. Also was concerned because when I first initially tried to go live, it gave me an error. So hopefully that's fixed. Ooh, I wish I would have set this to ultra low latency. Whatever, we'll get there. On YouTube Creator Studio, get the link, share everything around. That bad boy. This a bit. I already see some of you guys already hopped in. Appreciate you guys being here. Check it in a second. One thing I cool about Streamlabs, but also Discord's not up. All right, we ain't gonna worry about it because I don't feel like randomly attempting to crash the stream. Hopefully everybody usually joins up anyways. But hey, Josia, I think the gaming freak. Hey Zachy, hey Spino. It is what it is. Feels kind of gummy. I don't think he feels fine. So fun fact, I have this in the thumbnail that we're gonna unbox it. I might have already done it though. So we'll save some time there. I'm actually gonna start with it because he's actually just hanging out on the table here. No. Feels fine. He's nice and smooth. Then we got, love the coloring on him though. Looks really good, especially with the fire pattern. It's a bit brighter on my end than probably what's showing up on the camera. But probably the best looking grilled turkey, I think, out of the bunch in terms of paints. Although I will say with the wings, it's kind of hard to get them close to the camera. But the head looks really good. Hey, Jason. Thankfully, I don't really notice anything really out of the ordinary with the paint job. It's nice that he has a posable beak. Trying to see if I get the lighting to look a little better for you guys, just so you can see his head a little bit. Now it just looks super bright. So, and then of course I touch my lighting, and then it's like, yeah, I don't want to stand up anymore. The only thing is he's kind of got the same issues as like with pretty much all the highs I've had so far. That the detailing, from what you guys see, looks really good, but on my end, it's not the crispest, most crisp detail. Like it's kind of like the resolution went down a little bit, which is kind of the same like with the Godzilla, the Kong. It has certain areas that are a little better detailed than others. Like the head looks really good. The wings maybe could have been a little bit harder edges, but I think a lot of that too, yeah, like softer edges. A lot of that too could just be because he's actually bendy wings. So it could just be the material on this one. But unlike the Monstars, like the Monstars has like really nice, hard, detailed edges. This looks a little bit more smooth. Like even the NECA was a little bit harder. But then again, this guy's also a larger figure too. And for the price, I don't think I'm going to really be complaining that much. Yeah, it's like when you look close, it's not quite as good as the Monstars. But then again, he's bigger and also painted. Actually, there's paint on it, unlike the Monster Arts. So, I feel like this one's kind of winning. To be fair. Yeah, that's true. The King of the Monsters does look like it's a little bit better in that regards, but we'll have to see, because I think even the Godzilla, like, the prototype photos, he looks a little different than what the general release was. Yeah, it could just be the files. Maybe it's just like whatever rendering they had to do in order to get it up. I still think he looks good. Like I said, for $50, like, he's fairly impressive. Because you figure, like, him and Mothra are going to cost just as much as the Monster Arts set did. And he's already a hefty boy. Not disposable as that one. Well, debatably, I guess, because you do have the bendy wings. So you actually technically get a lot of posability. But the way that they pose his wings, there's not really a good way to kind of get a clean fit. I will say the one thing is the stand kind of sucks. As you can see. It's not the worst thing. Like, he actually gets pretty high, and you can clamp this around. He can do a barrel roll. That is 100% accurate. This does clamp. He actually stays on it pretty nice. Kind of typical problem with these ones trying to use them with flying figures. You get a little bit of a wiggle and he's gonna probably take off the thing. Yeah, you have to kind of finesse him in there. I was messing around with him upstairs when I initially got him out of the package. And you can give him to hold pretty well. But because of how long the stand is, it's hard to get a position and get him balanced right. That isn't just going to tank the stand. And I kind of wish he maybe would have had some way of just like something to just kind of rest on. Would have been cool. Although then again, balancing act wise, it makes it a little sketchy if he does that and something snaps off randomly. But he actually feels pretty durable. Because half of him is soft bendable plastic or rubber. So he's still pretty sturdy. I was gonna say, I was thinking maybe you could tighten the joints, but you can't really on this one. It's not like a Tamashiak stand where you can tighten the joints if you needed to. Yeah, I think like the NECA stand is probably your best bet. Which is kind of funny because I think he's like the first one that like each one of them kind of has a reason to still have it. Because he's got a nice size and I think the best painted one. But then the NECA came with the stand. And the stand was pretty sweet. Not a bad figure, but the stand was like, I feel like literally the standout of that one. And then with the Monster Arts, you get better detailing and posability. Plus, Mothra came with it. So you get two monsters in one set. So you kind of get like differences between each of the figures. Personally, I'd say if you didn't have the Monster Arts Rodan, I'd still say this is probably the way to go. Actually, to be honest, if you saw the Monster Arts Rodan, he's probably not a bad purchase unless you are like me and willing to do some updated painting with them. He might be a little big, but I'm sure you could I'm sure you could finesse it to get him to work on it. Like, it's not going to be any less less wiggly than he is on this one. Yeah, and then if you got the NECA Rodan, I still don't think it's bad, but I do like. I think this one's probably might be my favorite one in terms of just overall looks. Still think he's really. I like the Monster Arts one though, so I'm gonna hang on to it. But yeah, no, he's pretty sweet. Might be my favorite one out of the bunch. Well, the Godzilla's still really good. So mainly with that line, it was like the Kong was kind of the one that was like, he's debatably all right. Yeah, I still got all mine are displayed. The Rodan, I still gotta find what the heck happened to the actual stand piece. I have the exploding effect on the base, but I don't know where the little rod went. I did something with it for photo reasons, and then it just kind of vanished. I wouldn't say he's bad, but he's easily the most arguably good one compared next to, say, the Monster Arts or just other options available for a Colin figure. He's just like fine. He's more of a necessity figure because if you have the Hiya Godzilla, you need him in order to be able to scale it with him. But I don't think he replaces, or it would be a good substitution for like, oh, I didn't buy the monster art, so I'll buy this one. He's not going to really do it for you. But anyways, so next thing's up is I actually was able to find the Street Fighter figures that I had on pre-order, which I was pretty excited about. Because personally for me, growing up, this was easily like my favorite fighting game was Street Fighter 2. Turbo was the one I played a ton of. These ones are based off of the Final Challenger. But still really excited for these. And really want the Chun-Li. She's supposed to be coming out eventually. Nah, it's definitely not the worst con. That's for sure. I just see they leaked the Skullcrawler and I'm pumped. I think it's the first one that I'll probably definitely buy more than one of them. The brand, these are Jada Toys. Just released these. So currently you can find these at Target. I think they get first release of these. And then if you follow the link in the description, they are available for pre-order also through Entertainment Earth. But you'll have to wait a little bit longer for those. Ooh, yeah, I was gonna say he's definitely got the most fragile fingers. The monsters could be kind of fragile too. I would say this Rodan's actually probably the most durable out of the bunch. Yeah, but that was one of the reasons I kind of like these two, is because another game I really loved was Marvel vs. Capcom. So it kind of gives me a reason to like, maybe I buy an Iron Man to go along with them so they could be fighting Iron Man. And then also they did the Power Ranger crossovers, which is probably the biggest reason for me. So I could have Ryu and Chun-Li fighting Rangers without being actually the suit Rangers. Then I just love the box. Like, it's an arcade cabinet. And it looks dope. And it even has like the fighting stages in the back. I do wish you can see what the box is. It's the exact same box. Although the image in the background is different between Fei Long and Ryu. More stage specific. So I'm trying to be nice. Because for the most part with these guys, I'm probably just going to mainly have them still in the boxes. Just because I really dig these so much. So I don't want to damage them. If it can be helped. So I'm actually going to hit those on the baby swing. Oh, it's all taped down in here too. Shun. Yeah, it's probably some of my favorite boxes. Like, I was even hesitant to doing reviews. I just kind of wanted to get them, just like have them, and then I just call it a day. They get hang on the display. Oh, the gi's actually a gi. That's cool. So I don't think I'm going to get the flame effect out, at least right now. Oh, that's neat. He's actually... well, it's not cloth, but... it's actually its own piece, though. So this is soft. And you can see it kind of like folds up and gets squishy. Like, ooh, that's kind of scary. Trying to figure out his... Alright, he doesn't want to pose, though. He's definitely... it's got a spring-loaded action figure. I might not have seen your commission. Where'd you send it through? Hey, Rez. He's got double jointed elbows. Got double jointed knees. Can rotate. Oh, is this head? His head feels kind of squishy. It's a little weird. Got no shoes, as to be expected from a proper Ryu figure. I guess I can see, because it comes with an extra head too. So you get the clenched teeth head. And then you just have basic stoic head. For you here? I kind of wish this abdomen crunch. Like, he's got 2 joints there, so should have a decent one. On Facebook? Alright, I'll check it out after the stream. But he really wants to reset. But I'm really digging that this is its own, like, soft rubber piece. The belt's its own soft rubber piece. So it can kind of shift around. Makes him feel really fancy. I did see the teaser trailer. I'm not sure if I'm... Ooh, he's got the articulation here at the shoulder. He's very figure arts feeling. Which is really cool for something that was $25 that I paid for him. I'm kind of sad that it seems like the villain's just going to be some kind of Khan variant. Which sort of makes sense based off the plot from Godzilla vs. Kong, where Kong's trying to find his family, so it kind of makes sense to maybe try to tie that in with other movies. It makes the plot of that make a little bit more sense now than it did just kind of as its own standalone thing. But then again, it's... I don't want to be mean, but it sounds very Hollywoody, where it's just like, here's our hero, and he's fighting an evil version of himself. Because we get that in most every Marvel movie. And, I don't know. Mechanical would be sweet, though. Then again, I also don't really want to see another mechanical monster, since we just had one. So, it would be cool to maybe have gotten something new, like even just a new monster if they didn't want to pay for rights. I'd be down with like another Skullcrawler or Muto. Because to be honest, like some of the monsters they've been making anyways have been pretty sweet in my opinion. So it'd be cool to see more of that. But digging the Ryu. And then let's come with his own fireball piece. You do have a small stand. It's got a little bit of joints, and he has extra hands in order to do the Hadouken. I'm going to nicely set this aside. Like I mentioned before, don't want to damage the box. So that's going to go hang out over there. I wonder if Fate Alon's going to be a little bit better with that Indomitable. I don't know why I keep wanting to call it Indomitable. Like he's a snowman. Not how that works. Well, they're not really like normal monkeys, to be fair. He could be a radioactive monkey. I just like how I kept seeing all the memes of King Louis from the Jungle Book. Like, you know what? It is very similar. Like, my assumption would be that he's got to have, like, some kind of ability or some kind of special power to make him a little more unique. I got... God, I love that smug face. It looks so good. Ah, he could bend over. Maybe it's just the clothes. For Mosley, he's got a bit of a booty on him, to say the least. Yeah, like he's got to have something special with him if they are going to go that route, because he just looks like a skinny Kong. So, what's going to make him kind of fancy? I do hope there's maybe some more stuff or more monsters in it that they're maybe fighting. That would be kind of funny if it did tie in with Primal Rage. Like, it's just like randomly Talons in the movie. Oh, but if he's Chaos, then is he just gonna throw like radioactive feces and puke on everything? I'd be kind of down for that though. That would be Michael Bay needs to direct it, but it would be the best thing ever. Oh, that would be something, wouldn't it? Like if it's a changing kaiju. So the entire movie, you think it's like another con, but at the end of the film, it's revealed that it's like some kind of like space creature or something. It's like Space Godzilla with a like a weird changing Space Godzilla. Oh yeah, definitely needs a grenade. Like the grenade belt is a must. All right, so far these have been pretty sweet. Especially the detail, like the muscle definition on this guy is great. And he's got his pants. It's actually got texturing. It's not just smooth, which is kind of what I thought it was going to be. I just assumed it was just going to be like smooth black pants, but it actually has almost kind of like a sweatpants look and feel to it, which is really cool. It's a nice little attention to detail. Nice thing too is like he has his own like flame kick effect. He comes with, you get extra head. You get 2 hands for a little bit more combat poses. This side's pretty sweet. I'm digging these. I'm digging these a lot. But the funny thing is I try to stay away from stuff that isn't movie related or something like this. At least like ties to like my '90s nostalgia. So I'm happy to get it still. And I do kind of wish they would make Street Fighter movie figures because I would love to have like the Jean-Claude Van Damme or Bison. Like those would be great. Um, and I also one of the other fight games I really loved growing up was Mortal Kombat. But oddly enough, I don't own anything really Mortal Kombat. I have like a couple of things, mainly just because of like the spawns. But I've been kind of holding out that like somebody would make like original movie figures or even the newer one. I probably would have grabbed them if they would have done those. I think what you Sadly, he doesn't have like a voice box, so he just doesn't randomly just go. Wah! But it'd be sweet. I'm excited for the movie. Still, we just talked about it a little bit goofy. Um, I'm not super hyped about it because again, it's like as of right now, it just looks like he's gonna be fighting another con. And I've seen that movie, so we'll see how that goes. Sadly, didn't buy. Oh, actually, I do still have the Zen Ogre, don't I? Oh no, I don't have a Zen Ogre. Or do it? Yeah, no, that's a Zen Ogre, right? It was the third release. I still have him hanging around. Maybe. Problem was is I liked Monster Hunter, but I wasn't really that dedicated to it, so it felt kind of weird buying the figures. Because again, I'm trying to limit the amount of things I'm collecting. So it's bad enough, like for instance, handing on the table here. Actually, went out hunting today for some toys because we were going a little bit into the city and there's a few vintage toy shops. And I know a few of them had a bunch of Black Series figures. And it was like, of course, somebody has to have some Last Jedi figures. And the one shop still had the Elite Praetorian Guard. So I was able to grab one because with them being in Mandalorian, I kind of wanted to grab them. Even though they'll probably make figures of the ones that were in the show in particular because like I said, the weapon doesn't match, but I still just wanted to get one so that when they do make those, I'll have options. We'll have extra figures. I also got handing around Luke from The Mandalorian. which I already had a Luke that kind of looked like how he did in The Mandalorian, but since this one's like specifically the Mandalorian one, I decided to grab it. And then I also have the HK-87s, the assassin droids from the Ahsoka episode. Those just came in too. So like I'm buying the Star Wars, I buy the Power Rangers. The other thing that recently came in is a while back we did reviews for the Dawson Yu Hakusho figures. And the newest waves came out for those too, so I grabbed them. Couldn't really pass on these things because Yu Hakusho is easily my favorite anime of all time. And growing up with it, want to make sure I grab these. And then also, which I don't know why it says Himura Kenshin on the box, but also picked him up because again, love the anime, and then just I like that his display, his stand isn't even hanging out in the box anymore. But a lot of those like Toonami era animes, I just have like a really big soft spot for, so I tend to gravitate towards buying things when I see them of them. And Kenshin's like one of those criminally underappreciated animes for collecting purposes because there's just barely any figures for. Same with Yu Hakusho. There's like when it was airing on Toonami, there was like a few of the figures, but they kind of like to pick up, and they also kind of expensive nowadays. So with these Dawsons, they're definitely much more reasonable to try to pick up. Zenogre review, maybe kind of when I get around to it if he isn't sold before I even do it. If I'm going to be honest. It'll be cool to see a new trailer for The Rise of Beast. Some kind of oddly enough, I keep going like, I don't really want another Michael Bay Transformers movie. Kind of done with that universe. The movies are just kind of whatever. But then there's always like something that brings me back in. It's like, oh, this one has Optimus Primal and Ron Perlman. Okay. Guess I'm gonna go see that one too. They're not bootlegs per se, but they're not really. Well, this one on the other hand, I'm not 100% because it actually has Yu Hakusho on here, which makes me think that they're a little bit more authentic. But these are more like third-party figures, so it's not like a big company that makes them. It's just, God, who makes this? It's Great Toys? Great Toys, I think. Hold on, let me look it up. I know they're Dawson's. But there's but this one company in particular, they do like Yu Hakusho, they do the Bleach ones, they do Kenshin. And I know there was another company that was doing the same thing with the Yu Hakusho figures. But personally, I just thought these ones looked better. Yeah, it's just Dawson Toys. Which these I picked up off of 5K Toys. They're the place that I tend to gravitate more towards with like third-party action figures. They've been really good, and you can some of the stuff you can pre-order it. A lot of the pre-orders you generally have to pay in full for, or at least partial payment. But then again, like when these guys came up, it was like they were pre-ordered but came out like 2 weeks later. So there was that. And they also been getting the Hiya Godzillas up for pre-order too. And they're actually a little cheaper than some of the other places. So again, definitely recommend going check them out. They've been pretty cool. Yeah, I can see you Shamura in the club. Yeah, it's a reboot, but still. The movie was fine though. I did see the highest skull crawler. It looks sweet. I'm excited. I'll probably get multiples of that one. Because I'm starting to learn after paying attention to eBay and how people react on Facebook and stuff, that with the Hiya Godzilla stuff, I probably, whenever I pre-order them from now on, I just need to pre-order multiples. so that the one I pre-ordered pays for both of them. I feel like it's something I need to do. Because to me, it seems like they fulfill whatever the pre-orders are for, and that's pretty much it. So if you don't hop on the pre-orders, you're kind of SOL. Now I know I don't want to be streaming for too long, and I did put hashtags for Yu Hakusho in the description, but I'll let you guys decide. I can either open the Star Wars figures or the Yu Hakusho figures. So which one would you guys prefer to see? I guess the Kenshin too. I'll open oh, I just had a brain fart. Shishio? Hey, Game Man, how's it going today? Star Wars? Star Wars? Alright, we'll do Star Wars. I've seen 2. There's only 7 viewers. We'll consider that a majority. Actually, I think I'll start with the oldest one. Which kind of sucked, because it was funny, because I brought it up to him, and I was like, oh, because he was like, oh, there's been a few people, like, that have been coming to buy, and he's like, I pretty much, like, I ran out of these in, like, just a couple days. I was like, oh, well, yeah, they popped up. He's like, did they pop up in something? I'm like, yeah, I was in the Mandalorian. He's like, oh, sweet. And I was like, yeah, and I wanted to grab them, because I see on eBay these guys are starting to creep up a little bit. And then he was like, oh, yeah, well, it's like, I usually don't pay attention to that. It's whatever the price is, the price. I'm like, $25 for a Last Jedi figure? Granted, he's kind of cool looking, but oh yeah, I saw the Godzilla Con trailer. I'm excited. Mentioned it previously, but not as excited as I probably could be, because it's just another lizard fighting monkey movie. But like once the actual trailer drops down, I can kind of see a little bit more of what's going on. I'll probably be a little bit more hyped for it, for sure. Mecha-Con would be sweet though. If he's actually a mechanical con, it'd be cooler. I would appreciate that. But it does look neat. Hey, Dinozilla. Ooh, he is stiff. Also almost felt like I broke him for a minute, but here he is. In his bloody red glory. Oh, I was gonna say, yeah, the back's, I think, the same as it was in Mando. I'm assuming it was the same outfits. Assuming. Because it'd be kind of weird for them just to show up and be like, hey, we also made 100% new suits for it. So the only thing that currently seems like it sucks is he doesn't really, like, his arms look cool. They got all the red. Not a really posable boy there, though. Oh, I'm doing great, Dinozilla. Took the baby out. We went shopping at Costco's, checked out some toy shops. Oh, yeah, we also got a plushy little Godzilla. So we stopped at a second in Charles and found that. Yeah, the posability here is more of a suggestion. You can rotate it though, so I guess that's cool. I'll say, okay, at least he has double jointed knees. So that's good. He can pose his legs. And he also comes with giant blade staff, which isn't quite right for Mandalorian, but still, like I mentioned, I kind of just wanted to grab him just for giggles. And then when they inevitably make the figures of them from Mandalorian, I'll have at least one variant already hanging around. Second verbal break. Yeah. Like I said, The Last Jedi it wasn't good. It wasn't good. Oddly enough, these guys were probably some of my favorite things about The Last Jedi, just because I thought they were neat looking, but not enough to redeem that movie for me in the slightest. Oh yeah, that was the first time. Also, the thing I had to make sure of, because my mom just got a membership and she wanted to go down there, so I went with her to help her out. And I never tried the food court, so I was like, oh, we'll get a little bit of everything. God, those hot dogs are great. They're so good. I wish they had more toppings available, because there's just mustard, ketchup, and relish. But even with that, still really good. The pizza was actually really good too. I didn't try the chicken bake. Jessica tried that. She enjoyed that. Yeah, it's almost like a sausage. Like it's so it's like I don't have a better way to explain it. It's just like it has like the texture and almost the taste of a sausage, but you get like the length and the like snappiness of a hot dog. And the buns were great. I'll have to try it next time. We'll probably be down there. I don't know this month, but I'll definitely have to go back. So we picked up like boxes of make your own boba tea, some refrigerator ramen, and a few other stuff. I should have got the gyro stuff. The gyro stuff looked pretty good. They had samples of them. I was digging it. Yeah, I did see they're making a Mando movie, which I hope they do more seasons. Although this season kind of wrapped up nicely, which was good. So if they didn't do more seasons, I'd understand. But I still want to I just can't stop having more just the adventures of Mando and Grogu. So good. So yeah, you want to get him just to get him because they showed up in Mando? You might want to wait till maybe the other figure comes out. Granted, I could see them just reissuing this guy too, though. Which that would kind of suck. Like, here's the archive figures? Here's your archive figure. Call it a day. Oh, 10 seasons? I'd be down. Can't stop, won't stop. Because I'm assuming they're probably going to have something to do with Ahsoka. Between the two Star Wars. I really like Transformers, but I think on my like totem pole of stuff, I'm opening the Luke Skywalker. Wanted to know. Like Star Wars has always been my thing. It's pretty much like Godzilla and Star Wars are probably like my two biggest things. Which oddly enough, I probably like. Well, to be fair, the Black Series is probably the reason why I have so much Star Wars stuff. But pretty much like a lot of my childhood was Star Wars, Godzilla, and like cartoons into anime, but mainly anime. Because even like early on with a lot of anime, because my mom we had DirecTV, so you could find a lot of anime on like the off movie channels, like what was it, Sundance? The Sundance channels. They had like a bunch of different versions of Sundance, and there was like two of them that they would just have like anime movies and episodes playing randomly. So they were like, so when I was watching Toonami and stuff, I was also watching those. So you get I had a lot more diversity, and I think like a lot of like the average anime fan. Yeah, I have a hard time saying I don't like them. It's just kind of like I kind of wish there was got a little cloth cloak. Doesn't want to come off pretty easy. Looks good though. I like his belt. Got a little bit of belt on him. It's not really like the most overtly complicated figure. Although again, I love it when this isn't molded. So this is like its own separate piece here for the these two parts. Not sure what to call it. It's just like his vest. The big white thing in the upper right, the thing with two tails and wings. So you're talking about? I'm assuming that thing. Is that what you're talking about? That dude up there? I don't see anything with wings personally, but I could see that thing being mistaken for wings. But yeah, no, yeah, it just definitely looks like Battle of the Monkeys, which could be cool. I'm not saying the movie's not going to be, could not be still be good. Like it's a Godzilla movie, so I'm excited. It's just not like I would say nearly as hyped as like I was for like King of the Monsters. I'd be fine with Old Bad Guy, but I kind of want something that isn't just like another version of Godzilla. Because again, it sounds very like Marvel movie ish, for it to just be okay. Well, here's Godzilla fighting evil Godzilla, or like this movie, like Kong fighting evil Kong. Yeah, like Gigan would be cool. Although Gigan's been in quite a lot of stuff recently, so even that, I'd be a little bit more hesitant. Like Hedorah, I think I would lean a little bit more towards, because I think you could play a lot with that, with the legendaries. Violante. Although I just complained about I just complained about Godzilla fighting evil Godzilla, but I think that one's more funner to play around with. They should give us Minya. I'd be down for that. Gabara. Can we have a MonsterVerse Gabara? It's just to hear like everybody groaning that Gabara's getting his own time to shine, and hopefully they just make him cool. Khan, I am your father. Only if he has like the same like breathing respirator thing. I will say, I don't like this cloak thing. Because it doesn't quite sit the way I would like it to. It's not bad. It's got enough stitching there. It's kind of like, well, once you get finesse around, it's not too bad. I hate that the lightsaber is just a little baggy. Because, the funny thing, my other Luke lightsaber, I had to re-glue because the saber port, like right here, where the gold and the silver is, that part snapped. So I had to fix that. And you can even see here, it's where it like starts to wiggle. And it's scary. Although I still really like that you can just take these off. Kaiser Ghidorah? Be different. But again, like we had like Ghidorah was in King of the Monsters, and then it still kind of had something to do with Godzilla versus Kong. Yeah, this thing's kind of annoying. As I say, granted, it was kind of annoying on the other one too, though. To be fair, like it's not really meant to be played with. You kind of like you pose your Luke, and then you adjust the cloth onto him. God, yeah, I just feel like I'm gonna break this thing every time I try to do like this lightsaber in particular. Like I have to make sure I take the sword out and the blade, and then put the blade back in. Oh, that's kind of cool. I don't even know if I'd be that upset to get an unpainted helmet. That'd be kind of neat. You're gonna be like, well, shoot, I gotta order another one. It'd be kind of cool to have, though. Have like a nice error figure, because it could eventually be worth a little bit of money too. He's pretty sweet. I also know this, like, Luke in particular was having its own, like, 2-pack too, because you get with Grogu. I've seen enough zeros that I would 100% delete my YouTube channel. Because I don't think this channel will ever make close to that much amount of money. So I'd be okay with that. We could start again. We have the power. We have the technology. Yeah, no, I just leave it be. I think personally, it's like I mentioned, it kind of sucks because of course you bought your Boba Fett to look like Boba Fett, but I think it's neat enough that it merits just kind of. I would leave it alone. Like the only thing I actively painted, and I wouldn't even say it was an error, was this guy here because when they shipped him out for the White Dino Thunder Ranger, they didn't do the black around the visor. So I just did that myself. And I'll admit, mine kind of came in. It wasn't the best looking thing. I still kind of want to refix this piece up here. Mine was just kind of rough. Actually, I seen another one today, and I probably should have just grabbed it. Because the other one that I seen today actually had... His was in good shape. It wasn't nicked from random things. So I should have got that and then just redid the black on that. Yeah, I was gonna say with this helmet, I think it was just green plastic, so it wouldn't even be that far off. But no, personally, I think that's just kind of neat. Battle droid doesn't want to come out of cardboard. Well, I said battle droid. He's an assassin droid. He's one step higher. It's kind of weird that they skipped the red, but they still added the black. Weird. God, I hate this baggy thing. Oh, he's got cloth too. I don't know why I didn't think that was cloth. This is actually fabric. This side. That's kind of nifty. Just complained about it on the Luke, but it's kind of cool on him. Does that come off? I don't think so. I just felt like it did. I don't know why, but every droid figure I ever mess around with, I always feel like I'm gonna break these things. Oh, that's interesting. He's got a little. Oh, how well it shows up. He's got like little pins coming out from the side of his legs. Only single jointed knee, so they didn't give him a double joint there. Which, oh, I thought I just had an issue. He can rotate at the knee, so that's cool. No, he's pretty cool. I think the visor's not on quite right. I don't know if you guys can see with the head, but where the visor is, it's like a little slanted. And of course, my gun's bent, so I'm gonna have to heat that up to straighten it back out. But stick that here. So I think with the Yu Yu Hakusho, has a little blaster. He's pretty cool. Again, with these guys, I always want to grab multiples because if I ever want to do photos, I kind of feel like I need more than one of these guys in order to really be able to do anything with. But I've been trying to be good. It's mainly stormtroopers I am willing to buy multiples of. These guys, on the other hand, it's like they're only really around for one scene, so I don't really need that many. Like you kind of like if I want to do photos, you can make one work. Like he's the only thing I kind of wanted to get multiples of because there's specifically 3. So I want 3. But like I mentioned, I would be hard pressed to believe that they're just not going to make Mandalorian versions. So I'll probably just grab them at that point. Hey, Richard, how's it going? Yeah, I saw that, Matthew. Stormtroopers. I don't really have clones because I try to avoid anything I could get from the 12-inch line. So, most anything original trilogy, prequel trilogy, I can get like every character I would generally want for Black Series, I can get as the 12-inch dolls. So, I tend to just gravitate towards those. But I also don't order the 12-inch dolls. Like I don't actively like hunt them down at eBay. They're just if I see them and I don't have them, I'll try to grab them. Black Series, I try to stick with mainly Mandalorian is the big one, but I allow myself to buy stuff from TV shows or like characters I really like. But I try to avoid getting movie stuff outside of. I did pick up Rogue Ones. But doing good, but I think I'm gonna call it good here. So the Yu Hakusho figures and the Dawson stuff here. You will probably see it destroying the value here sometime in the near future of me unboxing those. I'll just probably make those a video because the next live stream is definitely going to be me working on some Gundam kits because I have like 13 of them hanging around here and I kind of want to get started on those. So anyways, thank everybody for coming and checking out the stream and help us defeat those kaijus by hitting that like button, subscribe, become a ranger today. We also got Instagram, Patreon, Pinterest, Facebook. Guys, like you all the day, but you don't donate. We really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in the next one.